How are we doing today? Welcome back. This is your host, Brandy Zucker, and we are here for another episode of Zuck It Up, where things, ideas, beliefs are zucked up. Dude, I don't know what the past 24 hours have been in my existence, but I think I time traveled. My body has not been able to move like whatsoever, and I think I just needed a place to come ground and tell you all what's been going on, or by you I mean myself. I think my dogs, I was watching my dogs here for about 3 weeks, and it got to the point where my parents needed to come and pick them up. Basically, what happened was um, I brought them into the pool area with their service vest, and the property manager did not approve of that, and he told the owner of this place I'm staying, which is my father, that he's gonna fine him if he doesn't get rid of the dogs. So they came and took the dogs, and today's like the first day. Well, I think technically yesterday was the first day where I just had like total peace again. And I'm gonna be honest. I think based off of like what's been going on, I don't think I'm in the place to take care of animals right now. I think my whole life I've been taking care of animals and taking care of other people's emotional needs, that it's really, really important that I focus on taking care of my animal, which is myself, my human, and my emotional needs. So that was the sign with that. And I'm doing a 3-day fast, and this is my first day of the fast. And I'm currently making, oh, where'd it go? Follow me, everybody. We're gonna go grab my tea. Okay, also, I ordered this microphone off of Amazon for like specifically vlogs and maybe recording songs. However, whenever I try to use it, the sound always comes back so low. And then the crazy thing is, I went into ChatGPT and I said, "Hey, ChatGPT, I'm gonna send you this podcast file. Can you edit the sound and the video quality so it comes back more clearly?" And they said, "Yeah, sure, I got you. Send me the file." I'm sipping my tea. "Send me the file." And I said, "Okay, sounds good." I sent them the file, and then ChatGPT responded, "Okay, I'm rendering the footage. This will take about 30 minutes. And I said, "Great." And then I come back 2 hours later, and I don't get any response from ChatGPT. And I said, "Where is it?" And they're like, "Oh, sorry, it got erased because the system reset. It'll take about 2 more hours." So then I said, "Okay." So then I come back in a couple hours. I'm like, "Where's the footage?" They're like, "Oh, there was something wrong. Try again later." So ChatGPT has a problem when it comes to editing video footage. But what it doesn't have a problem with is two things. The first thing is my sister sent me the funniest text message in the entire world. She put, I think what she did was she had AI create a human version of our dogs. The Tucker one was alright. I didn't laugh. But, so I have two dogs, Tucker and Lana. Tucker is a miniature Australian Shepherd and a mix. He's like a bunch of different things. You could tell he's a bunch of different things because he's a really awkward looking body. Like, he looks like he is like a tiny head, but like a really long body and like short, stubby legs, but like when I mean long body, like the body, I don't know. You could just tell he's like a mix of all these different dogs. And then Lana, she's like a full purebred Pomeranian. And Lana, every time you look at her, she's always smiling or she's always doing something so adorable. Whether she's just smiling at you or whether she's just like digging into the dog seat, or sometimes she just like sprawls on her back, but you can't really see her face. All you see is like her smile and like a big ball of fur. I mean, she's like the epitome of cuteness. And my sister sent me an AI photo of Lana recreated as a human, and and it was like this, just like it was like this beautiful blonde girl, but she had like the stupidest smile, and it was so funny because like it was like this blonde girl making like the exact same facial expressions that Lana makes. Like it was just like Lana's personality and like this woman. It was just so freaking hilarious. Like that one was so accurate. It was so funny. The reason why I thought Tucker's was off is because AI made Tucker really like this kind of like serious, attractive looking male. And based off of Tucker's personality and based off of the personality that I would assumed the guy in the AI had, I didn't feel like it seemed like it matched quite well. But maybe it did. Maybe that guy's a very needy guy. This is good tea. It's green tea. Yeah. I also had like really crazy dreams last night. Basically, like all of these boys that I've known or known on social media, like they were all just showing up in my dreams, and like I had like different interactions with all of them, and I was trying to interpret it. I'm also taking a detox from using screens, except for right now when I'm recording this. So like I was trying to interpret this dream I had, and I'm like, what could possibly be going on? Like, you know when you think you get rid of a guy and you like think you fully let him go, but then he's like, "Hey, I'm in your dreams." And you're like, "I didn't invite you here." I think I just maybe it's a sign that I'm finally whole. Maybe I was like, for a lot of my life I was dreaming of finding another half, and that was like my sign that I'm finally stepping into the full embodiment of my wholeness. And maybe through this full embodiment of my wholeness, I will find my love. Because I think I love love too much to not experience love. I think God can create anything. And I think if I tell God that I want a fairy tale kind of love, then I believe God can get that fairy tale kind of love for me. Sure, it might not be the perfect depiction of a fairy tale, given who they would need to be to meet my standards, but anything's possible. I've never had a boyfriend before, so I don't think I didn't know myself well enough, and I think and my sister's never had a boyfriend before either. I think it has to do with how we were raised. Like, I don't think we ever had the freedom to like express ourselves uniquely to the point where we were open emotionally open, mentally open, and available to have another person or relationship in our lives. Um, yeah, and like I think our parents were just like I think I think our mind was more focused on our relationship with our parents than with anybody else because it was like constant peacemaking and I think I was too ashamed to have anybody know the truth of who I was. So for those reasons, shame overtook my ability to form a relationship with not only like a lover or a love or a romantic relationship, but like relationship with friends too. I was too ashamed of my truth and um, who I was, and I don't know if my sisters feels the same way or whatnot, but I think I think I think as I'm acknowledging these emotions, these feelings when it comes to my past, um, it's definitely moving in the right directions for me to finally be a person who's open to making authentic relationships. And I think when it comes to making authentic relationships, it's important to know your boundaries and it's important to um, hold your own hold your own energy so you're not bending backwards for people and you're not um, people pleasing, obviously. I think that's another thing. I came from a family of people pleasing where that idea was kind of programmed within me. So now I'm finding in a place where I I'm that's in my past. So when it comes to forming authentic relationships with people, I mean people pleasing cannot be a part of that or else you're just gonna feel drained after hanging out with them. And yeah, and I'm really grateful. So I attended the Sacred Feminine Retreat in Costa Rica, run by the Mama Shell and Quantum Shifting, and we have a little group chat, and um, Shell gifted us her gift of the Shadow Work Journal. She has both the Shadow Work Journal and the Shadow Work Bible. So right now I'm in the process of completing the Shadow Work Journal. And in the Shadow Work Journal, um, there's a chapter where it talks about forming authentic relationships with other people. So one of the journal prompts was write a letter to someone who you wish with the intention of acknowledging your shadows and forming a relationship with them based off of authenticity. And not only did I write the letter, but I wrote the letter and then I recorded it in a voice memo and then I sent the letter to that person. And I figured that I had nothing to lose. And it was really genuine and it was really sincere. And I got a really beautiful response back. So now I'm thinking, okay, wait, if I got a beautiful response back from her, like, should I just do that with a bunch of people in my life who I wish to form more authentic relationships with? But the thing is, like, when I do think about that, it's like, okay, maybe with girls it would be easy, but like with guys, like, I don't think I should send them a message wanting to form a relationship based off of authenticity if they're people that I'm attracted to. Because I feel like when you're attracted to them, then it's a whole different story. But also, it's like sometimes I don't even know if I'm attracted to them. Like sometimes I just feel like I connect with a guy, and just because we connect so well, I'm like, wait, because we're connecting so well, does that mean like we're soulmates. And I think that's where my mind like escalates. And I think that's where my mind just escalates to extremes sometimes. And I also think that's where my mind goes when you do spend as much time in isolation as I have. I mean, being alone was like my safe space growing up, and to most extents in my current life, it is my safe space at the moment. Because the thing is like I'm at the final stages of the in between era of my life where I'm leaving my old identity, my old relationships past behind, and I'm stepping into my new era, which is going to include like more aligned connections to my authenticity. But the thing is, I don't want to surround myself with my new era people when I'm not fully embodying that higher version of myself. And I think there's a part of me that fears those connections if I don't feel like I'm ready for them. And that sounds so silly just saying that out loud. And it just makes me realize that the universe isn't going to put people and relationships in my direction unless the universe trusts that I'm ready for it. And I know that's true. So I believe that. I believe in divine timing. I really do. And I honestly think that this podcast is so important for me. The reason why therapy never worked out for me is because I didn't like the idea of, I know they're licensed professionals, but the thing with me is that I didn't like I didn't like taking advice from people who haven't lived my life. And it's just kind of a personal thing to me. And I know that therapy works really, really well for other people. However, I do believe in mentors, and I do believe that through taking inspired action, like creating a podcast, I'll attract the right mentors in my life and people I look up to. And in fact, I think I already have a couple mentors in my life. I definitely do. And one of them, sometimes I wonder like when are you supposed to say, like sometimes I fear saying I love you to people because I fear that if I say it then they'll not want to talk to me again. Like I fear that if I say I love you, then it's like, oh, I think they got the wrong idea. But like I feel like I say I love you so much to my friends. So maybe it's unclear. So when you say I love you to boys when things seem unclear, then it's like I don't know what to do. And I feel like every time I've said I love you to a boy where the situation seemed unclear, they they left my life, or not really left my life, but like they stopped connecting with me. But like they're open to connecting with me because if I reach out to them, they always respond. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Baby, don't hurt me. No more. What is. Oh, the most awkward thing happened today. So, what happened is that I woke up around 7 a.m. I did not put myself to sleep properly whatsoever. And I woke up and I'm like, I need to get into the bathtub. So then I started the bathtub, and then as it was running, I sat down in my room and I'm like, oh my God. And I just need to put myself in a really, really, really dark room because sometimes I get nervous being alone at night in here, so I turn on some of the lights. But then I woke up and I was like, okay, I really, really, really need to be in a dark room. So I shut off the bathtub and I closed all the curtains, and then I just allowed myself to rest in the darkness. And that darkness brought on those such weird dreams. I, they weren't necessarily bad dreams, but they were like kind of weird. But it was kind of nice because in those dreams, I experienced like intimacy with another person. And I haven't had intimacy with another person since summer 2023. So, what? Now my dreams are the only place I can experience that? Definitely not. Or maybe this is a sign that I'm open to calling those things into my life now. But the thing is, like, I'm so over hookup culture. Like, if I'm going to be in a romantic relationship with somebody, I need it to be the real deal. Because I'm the real deal. I don't fuck around anymore. There's no point. Like, if I'm going to allow somebody to enter me, my field, oh my god, me, just enter my essence, they have to be as serious about their lives as I am. And I know that some of my actions may not make it seem like I'm serious about my life, but the thing is that that is a lack mindset. The thing is that I'm so serious about my life is that I'm willing to isolate and sleep because I realize that my body just craves rest. Rest from people, rest from my dogs, rest from my family, rest from TikTok. My body just needs rest. And I think honoring my body in that way is one of the highest forms of self love. And I think that hooking up with a bunch of people, nah, that's not really the greatest form of self love, in my opinion. I I don't want to have a baby until I feel really like secure in what it is I'm doing. Like right now, I'm just relying on God when it comes to my finances. Like God had put enough money for me to live for a good amount of time, not by working, literally from that car accident. So I guess that was a sign that I am supported financially by God. But um, I'm not gonna even think about having children until my life feels like I'm in control of my finances, not just God. You know what I mean? I think I think making money is so easy when you're doing what you love and what comes natural to you. So I guess talking about my life comes pretty naturally to me. Here's the reason why I came on here today. I needed to just speak my mind. I was lying on this couch and just memories were playing of my past, and some of them were pretty funny. Like one memory that was playing from my past that I just laughed out loud with. Okay, before I tell this story, sometimes people get freaked out by me because, like, for instance, I'll be sitting in a jacuzzi with a bunch of strangers who are all talking to each other, and I'll just be sitting by myself, like, I guess replaying memories in my mind, especially ones that make me laugh. And I watch it as if it's a movie, and then I'll hear what they say in the movie in my mind, and then it's just so funny, and my mind is constantly like going back in the past to times that brought me joy and laughter. So then I'll use the past as a way. I'll use reminiscing about the past as a way to bring joy into the present. I don't know if that's a healthy way to bring joy into the present or if that's a coping mechanism I learned when I was in really stressful situations. But it's kind of weird because I'll just start bursting out laughing randomly. And people are like, what's so funny? I'm like, oh, I was just thinking about the time when I was watching Nathan Fielder. Oh my god. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. Nathan Fielder is so fucking hilarious. One thing that Nathan Fielder did that made me laugh so much was it was some episode of his TV show he has. I can't. Oh, yeah, I remember. It, okay, so he made an episode of his Nathan Fielder show where he was on a talk show with Jimmy Fallon. He was on the Tonight Show and he was so worried about like what he was going to say because um because he really wanted to have like a cool story to share about, but the thing was like his life was so boring that he had no cool stories to share about. So he's like, I can't just go on there talking about my cats. So the whole episode was him writing this elaborate story that he was gonna share on the Tonight Show. And then he goes on to the Tonight Show and he shares the story. And he got all the reactions that he wanted. Oh my god, he makes me laugh so much. and what was also so funny of that episode is that he was like comparing. He had like he was like he showed like a flashback of like different people who have been on the Tonight Show that had all these crazy stories. So like I don't know, maybe I think he did like a flashback of like The Rock saying that he went bungee jumping with the president, something like that. And then he's like, and it just shows his facial reaction watching that clip of like the stories that people share on that show. So he's like, okay, so I'm gonna come up with a really elaborate story to share. And then he made an episode about how he got the exact reactions that he wanted from the audience. He kills me. He literally kills me. I think I see a lot of myself in him. I think that's why it kills me so much. In a good way. I'm not saying that I'm like his doppelganger in any way, shape, or form, but he kind of takes little parts of myself to like the max, like the extremes. Nathan. Oh, the TV show was called Nathan For You. Oh my god, it is literally one of my dreams to meet Nathan Fielder. And also, it was one of my dreams for a really long time to meet Ellen DeGeneres. And you know what? I don't care what people say. It's still one of my dreams to meet Ellen DeGeneres. Because to me, she's so unique and she's just herself. And through just being herself is what got her to where she is. Sure, there's bad things written about her, but that's not what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on her ability to dream, go after it, and achieve. And and she inspires me for those reasons. Plus, she's funny as fuck. I don't care what people say. Ellen DeGeneres makes me laugh. I don't know if she makes me laugh as much as Nathan Fielder, but she makes me laugh. I love people who make me laugh just from like creating. Well, okay, Ellen doesn't create awkward situations. Nathan creates awkward situations that makes me laugh so much. And the reason why it makes me laugh so much is because he's so unaware, or maybe he is aware of the fact that it's so awkward, but he just, dives into it. Same with Dax Flame. Dax Flame is like kind of the younger version of Nathan Fielder. Uh, Not as funny in my opinion, but I love you, Dax Flame, and I would still love to meet you too. Dax Flame, this is my official invitation to have you as a guest on the Zuck It Up podcast, where we and why I want you to be on this podcast is because I want to talk about the elements of comedy, what makes a good comedian versus a great comedian, and what inspires you comically to come up with the jokes that you come up with, um, and your whole persona as a comedian. So that's why I would want Dax Flame on my podcast. Um, would I want Nathan Fielder on my podcast? Dude, if Nathan Fielder was on my podcast, I don't know. There are no emotions that go through my head that could possibly match to the reaction that I would have if Nathan Fielder were a guest on my podcast. I feel like that's so out of the bounds of any reality I've ever experienced in my life. So the truth is that I don't know how I would react if Nathan Fielder were to be a guest on my podcast. I would most definitely say yes. I just feel as though it just seemed as more realistic to have Dax Flame on my podcast than Nathan Fielder. But you know what, Brandy? You are so freaking worthy to have somebody like Nathan Fielder as a guest on your podcast. Dax Flame, I'm not saying that you're not as great as Nathan Fielder. You're great too. But I just feel like, you're TikTok famous. Nathan Fielder is TV famous. I mean, come on, he has his own TV show. And maybe Dax Flame, you'll have your own TV show too. And maybe Brandy Zucker, you'll also have, well, I have my own podcast, so I've already made it. But Nathan Fielder, you already know I would say yes to you. I feel like that's just a given. This sounds so stupid. Like, I'm not going to say, it sounds stupid to say I would love to have Nathan Fielder as a guest on my podcast because it's just such a high crazy dream that it just sounds so silly to be speaking it in this way. Like, that's why just meeting Nathan Fielder just sounded so much more great than having him on a podcast. Like, if Nathan Fielder were to be on my podcast, I would really have to level up my game. Like, okay, this is how I would prepare if Nathan Fielder were to be on my podcast. I would have to come up with conversations to maybe talk about. So my intentions for there has to be intentions. So my intentions for having Nathan Fielder on my podcast is to form a friendship with him and to see who he is when he's not on TV, because he's brought me so much joy and laughter during the darkest stages of my life when I was just at home and watching TV was like what I did. For work, I watched TV. For amusement, I watched TV. For hobbies, I watched TV. It was just like, I didn't know what to do with my life, so I'm like, okay, let's just laugh. So I would put on Nathan Fielder, and I would watch Nathan For You, a couple episodes a day. So, I guess he inspires me. So if Nathan Fielder were to be on my podcast, my intentions for having him on here is first I would just explain how much joy he's brought into my life and um, how his unique sense of humor has just made me smile in ways that I didn't even know I was able to unfathom. And I guess maybe we would get to know each other, maybe possibly form a friendship. Maybe I would treat it like a friendship date, like to see if we'd be compatible as friends. So I'd be like, "Hi, Nathan Fielder. Thank you for coming on my podcast." And he'd say, "Oh, you're welcome." And then I'd say, "So I thought that maybe we could possibly just talk about life, your cats. So listen, I know that for the Jimmy Fallon show, you came up with this whole elaborate story, but I'm different in the way that I really want to hear about your cats. And I'm gonna be quite honest, maybe Jimmy wanted to hear about your cats too, cause I and we can just talk about our pets, and then we can have fun, not in a sexual way, but we can just have genuine fun together. We could we could play air hockey, and we can go to ecstatic dance. I love ecstatic dance, and we could write a song together. And then we would just talk about all the fun things we could do together. So that's what I would talk about if I ever had Nathan Fielder on my podcast. And then if I were ever to have Ellen DeGeneres on my podcast, I would just try to make her laugh because I feel like if you can make Ellen laugh, then you've won at life. Because the thing is that she's always trying to make her guests laugh, but only the comedians try to make her laugh. But I don't even think they try. I think they just are who they are. I think I would just want her approval of me. I think I would just want to say, "Hi, Ellen. This is who I am. Let's talk about how much I love your TV show." And I think another reason she inspires me is her ability to get along with everybody on her show. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. She's had some really, really, really awkward, just weird, disturbing moments on her show. Like the time where she was asking Justin Bieber all these um uncomfortable questions. But I for like I think I've asked people really uncomfortable questions in my past too, and I've forgiven myself for it. And I think it just comes with I don't know, transforming. Anyways, if Ellen DeGeneres were to be a guest on my podcast, um yeah, I think we would just share funny stories. So, speaking of funny stories, what funny stories can I share on this podcast right now? Oh, okay, I'll share the story of how I went TikTok famous. So, I post a bunch of random videos on TikTok. I'm just trying to see what the algorithm likes. However, one video of mine, there is maybe I have 100 TikTok videos that I posted. One out of the 100 TikTok videos went viral. And I count going viral as having over like 10,000 views. I mean sure 9,000 views is pretty cool, but I wouldn't call that viral. I would just call that a lot of views. But viral is 10K or over. This TikTok video, I think it has 360,000 views. I know, crazy. Here's what happened. So, when I recorded this video, I was attending Chapman University, one of the greatest film schools in the country, and they had a guest speaker, a master class, And in this master class, Austin Butler was teaching. It was, I don't even know if it was a master class or an interview. They called it a master class, but it just seemed more like an interview to me about his Elvis Presley movie. And I decided last minute that I wanted to attend the interview master class. And I arrived to the theater. I see the flyer. I see it's at 7 p.m. I arrived to the theater, and apparently you needed to buy a ticket like weeks in advance. So I see there's a line for like the waiting list. There's like a waiting list line. And what I did is that the waiting list line to get in, because sometimes people didn't have a ticket, so they would call a person off the wait list line to go in. So basically what happened is I saw the wait list line. Well, no, I went to the front desk and I said, hi, I have a ticket. And they're like, no, you don't, but you can wait on the wait list line. And I said, I see. So then I go to the wait list line, and there's a water fountain near the first person of the front of the waitlist line. I go to the water fountain, I drink the water, I keep my head down, and I pretend that I'm sending a very, very, very important text message. And I keep sending this text message until the lady who's in charge of the waitlist line calls people inside. So the lady comes. She's like, okay, we're letting the first 15 people of this line go in. And then she goes to put on the wristband of the first person in line, and I look up from my phone and I just stick out my wrist. No one says anything. Okay, that wasn't the TikTok video though. That's just how I got the wristband to get in. So then I get a wristband, I sit my butt down, I'm in like the fifth row of the theater to see Austin Butler. Before he comes out, we watch the whole entire Elvis movie. And I've seen the Elvis movie before. So this was my second time watching the Elvis movie. And then Austin comes out. He does his interview, what it was like to shoot the Elvis movie. And that was so awesome. He talks about all the training he did, and how he needed to train for dancing, acting. Like, he really, really, really trained for this audition. Like, he really, really wanted this audition. And personally, I think he was a great Elvis. I think if this movie was filmed 30 years ago, that John Travolta would have played Elvis. I think John Travolta should have played older Elvis. Because I feel like John Travolta just is Elvis. But, like, no, he's John Travolta. Anyways, he does the whole interview. He talks about what it was like making the Elvis movie. And then comes the Q&A. I write a whole list of questions on my phone. I turn to the guy sitting next to me, and I say, hey, if I get chosen to ask a question, which of these questions should I ask? One of the questions I wrote down was, can you say your name in your silliest voice? The other questions were just like pretty normal questions about what it was like to make the movie and stuff like that. But then he points to the, can you say your name in your silliest voice? And I said, oh, okay, I'll do that question. So then, basically what happens is they do the Q&A, everybody's raising their hand to ask a question, and they say, okay, we're gonna have one more person ask a question. And then he chooses a person, and it wasn't me. He answers the question, and then the host was like, before the host could even say, this concludes our masterclass, I stand up on the chair, I raise my hand as high as I could, and I'm like, can I ask a question? Can I ask a question? And then Austin Butler looks at the host, and he's like, I gotta answer this girl's question. And he said, and they said, okay. And I'm like, yes. I turned to the guy next to me. I'm like, can you record me asking this question? He's like, yeah, sure, I got you. And then I'm like, we had to say our name, our major, but I forgot to say my major. I was just like kind of shaking. And I was just like observing my heart beating so fast. And I was like observing me shaking because I knew I was about to ask this question. So I'm like, hi. He's like, hi. And I'm like, my name is Brandy. He's like, nice to meet you, Brandy. And I'm like, I was just wondering, um, could you say your name in your silliest voice? And then there's a huge reaction from the audience, like, oh! And then the host was like, all right, that's enough. And then I go on the mic and I'm like, it's a serious question. And then Austin Butler was like, Brandy? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, thank you so much for coming tonight. I'm really happy you came. And then he said, I'm not going to do that, but thank you for coming. And I said, all right. Well, I said it kind of bitchier. I was like, all right. And then I handed the mic to the person who was in charge of giving the mics out to ask the questions. And then he pressed stop on the record, and he handed my phone back to me. And that was that. And then I go into the lobby, and I hear everybody talking, and I hear conversations going, and they're like, that question that girl asked was so ridiculous and stupid. And I chime in, I'm like, I know, right? Wasn't that so uncalled for? And they're like, yeah, I can't believe she asked that. I'm like, I know. I can't believe she asked that either. That is so crazy. And then I leave, and I'm like, humming. So that's how that viral TikTok video went. And I'm a little disappointed because that's the only video of mine that went viral. And okay, you know what? Maybe TikTok fame isn't in my destiny, but I'm not living life in order to become a TikTok famous person. I'm living life in order to make a lot of money, sing, dance, and laugh, and help people who have similar childhoods that I have and help them with that through music, through singing, through dancing, and laughter. I'm not saying that that's my only life purpose, but that's kind of my main goals. And no, you definitely don't need TikTok in order to achieve those dreams. I'm open to being TikTok famous. I mean, technically, I am TikTok famous. But also, I'm not gonna lie, I post some really, really, really embarrassing videos on TikTok just because I'm not TikTok famous. I'm like, okay, I'm not TikTok famous. I guess I could post these videos now. And when I tell you embarrassing, I posted videos of me crying to the camera about the property manager, about my dogs. I posted videos about me talking about high school. That one was pretty embarrassing. So I think I've just like accepted the fact that I am a cringy person. I am a cringy person. But I'm also a good kind of cringy person because I'm really talented. You know, like, you can show me a piece of choreography and I'll fucking do it. You can give me a song to sing and I'll fucking sing it. Like, I'm cringy, but not the kind of cringy where you're like, she's so weird. It's like the kind of cringy where you're like, is she on drugs? I'm not on drugs. The only time I was on drugs was when I was in the mental hospital. and in the outpatient program. And then I stopped being on those drugs. If you want to hear more about that story, check out my first episode. However, the sound quality is like really poor on that episode, so I would love to figure out how I can make the sound quality better and repost that video so you can hear more about my journey to becoming the person I am sitting in front of the camera today. So, I'm taking a sip of tea. For those of you who are listening, I bought these acrylic nails from CVS, and I want to just I have a little bit of time. I want to talk about the process. So I bought these acrylic nails because on April 9th I gave a performance at the Delancey doing my music, and I didn't feel like getting a full-on like actual acrylic nails because I hate how they only last like 2 weeks and then they start falling off and they just rip off your nails. So I'm like, I'd rather just get the ones at CVS because I don't like wearing fake nails because I'm really trying to overcome my nail biting habit, and I feel like I really just want to just let my nails do what they need to do. But these really fast glue-on nails are so convenient when you just want like a beautiful aesthetic on stage, which I do. And I buy these really 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 cute French tip nails that have rhinestones on them, and it comes with this glue that you use, but the thing is that glue is really not that great, and I use super glue instead. So I super glue these little plastic nails onto my fingers, and it looked absolutely gorgeous. And it lasted like 5 days, 4 days, and then they came off. And when they came off, I guess I took one of them off on this couch. So there's little pieces of this nail on the couch that I just let my fingers feel and touch. And the thing that's so satisfying about feeling this nail is that there's so many different textures along the edge of the nail that you get to feel. And the sensation of feeling these textures is so satisfying. Speaking of satisfying, I love doing things that are so satisfying to me, like taking care of my health. When it comes to satisfaction, there's long-term satisfaction and there's short-term satisfaction, and I am an expert in both. Let's talk about long-term satisfaction. Long-term satisfaction is being satisfied over a long period of your life, doing things over time that will bring you long-term satisfaction, long-term joy, long-term happiness. Short-term satisfaction are doing things that bring you joy instantly without having to work for it. Like TikToks. It brings you just the thing that you're thinking of without having to work for it. Like, I watch a lot of Dina Mo videos because I'm in her collective, and she gives me the advice I need without having to work for it. And I trust her. But I trust her a little too much that it keeps me in bed just waiting for her next video. And I think that's why I'm on here today, to talk about things I can do that aren't that. a sip of tea. So that's short-term satisfaction. Long-term satisfaction are things that you do for long-term results, like running every day. Okay, here's the thing. I don't know if I like running every day because I love it, but then it gets to a point where like I need a rest day, and then like I get sucked into the rest day, so I'm like, this rest day is nice. And then the next day comes and I'm like, do I feel like doing this again? And then I realize, wait, have I just been like tiring myself out? Do I really want to be running this much, or do I feel obligated to be running this much? And the truth is, sometimes I love running. Like I get the runner's high. I love it. And like I can feel my body like burning calories even after the run is over. But then sometimes I'm like, okay, I think I've been running too much. Also, I asked ChatGPT to make a workout plan for me. So I followed that workout plan for like a week, and I was really tired and exhausted. It was definitely a good workout plan, but it left me feeling like pretty tired. It was very like machine-like. Okay, so thank you everybody for tuning in today. I just released a new song called Bill Nye the Science Guy. It's on all streaming music platforms, and I'm going to be having a concert April 21st at the Delancey, where I will be performing some of my music, my original music. Some of it's up, some of it's not. And I'm so excited for this performance because I have a costume for it and it's out of this world. So, I'd love to meet you all, whoever comes, whoever vibes with me. So, yeah. Thank you all so much. My Instagram is Brandy Zucker. Don't go on my TikTok, but my TikTok is also Brandy Zucker. And put your feet in grass today, and do things that will leave you feeling satisfied in the long term. Thanks for zucking it up with me. Goodbye.